Chapter 44. We continue as we see the MC and Yukishiro at Chiaki's house, talking to him. He tells them that he knows it's hard to believe, given the way things are just now, but Kirigaya and him originally went to the same school and they got on pretty well. Hearing this surprises the MC and Yukishiro. Chiaki continues and says that they both ended up going to the same high school. They both ended up on the track team. As he remembers competing with Kirigaya, he says that they saw each other as rivals, but they would never fight or anything. Hearing this shocks the MC and Yukishiro as they both think, wait, Chiaki and Kirigaya were friends? The MC thinks that Kirigaya constantly makes condescending comments to Chiaki. He's always been super hostile towards him. It's hard to believe that they were once friends. As Chiaki looks sad, he continues and says that the reason that the friendship Kirigaya and him had fell apart, it was obviously Ayana. Ayana begged him to invite Kirigaya, so he did. The three of them went to karaoke together. Then, whilst they were there, Chiaki went to the toilet, and apparently, Ayana and Kirigaya kissed. Chiaki starts crying, as he tells them that this is basically what happened, so he'd be really dumb to take Ayana's "why don't the three of us just hang out" at face value. He says that he really is just dumb for agreeing to get back with her in the first place. Ayana was the first girl who ever confessed to him. The MC replies and tells him that he's his best friend, so of course he would side with him on anything. He always knew that Ayana was a pretty horrible person, but he would never get in the way of his friend and the girl he has feelings for. Hearing this makes Chiaki more emotional. The MC continues and says that there's one thing in all of this that he really just doesn't get. He asks him if he thought that he would do the same thing as Kirigaya and try to take Ayana away from him, so that's why he was avoiding him? Hearing this surprises Chiaki. He immediately gets up and tells him that's not what he meant. He knows that the MC is nothing like Kirigaya. He doesn't think that he would actually make any moves on Ayana. He trusts the MC implicitly. It's Ayana he doesn't trust in any shape or form. Ayana is basically just a manhunter. If she feels any sort of connection at all, she'll stop at nothing until it's hers. He sits back down as he cries and says that no matter how little interest he shows her, as he's saying this, the MC sees Chiaki cry and gets worried. He goes towards Chiaki as he calls his name. He starts shaking Chiaki as he tells him to look at him. Chiaki refuses to look at him and keeps his eyes shut as he cries. The MC thinks that he needs to do something and suddenly grabs Chiaki's shoulder with force. The MC shakes him and tells him that he needs to have more faith in him. He continues and says, "You say that you do really trust me. In that case, you know that I would never betray you. Besides, there's no way that I would ever fall for Ayana anyway, when the one I love is sitting right there, Yukishiro-san." Chiaki looks at the MC and tells him that Ayana's the kind of girl who'll deliberately press her chest against him, and she'd get really touchy-feely too. The MC replies and says, "So what? Having someone I don't really like touching me wouldn't have the effect they expect. In fact, it would just make me feel really uncomfortable." Chiaki looks worried as he says that's the kind of thing only a popular guy could use as an excuse. He screams and says that for unpopular guys like himself, if any girl touched him suggestively, it would make him insanely happy. He'd totally end up falling for her. The MC asks Chiaki, "You'd fall head over heels for someone just from them touching you, so their personality wouldn't come into it at all? Is that what you're saying?" Hearing this makes Chiaki sweat and say, "I didn't mean it like that." Hearing this makes him realize something. He speaks and tells the MC that he's right. He never fell for Ayana's personality in the first place. He hadn't realized it himself until now. He knew fine well that Ayana had serious personality problems, but he still turned a blind eye because it wasn't her personality he was interested in from the get-go. Yet, he still needed her to acknowledge his feelings. "You know how much I like you, so only look at me. Please don't do anything that would hurt my feelings. Why choose Kirigaya over me? I'm much kinder than he is." Wishing for those things, when he was only interested in what was on the outside, his love for her was nothing more than self-indulgent selfishness. It's made him realize that he really needs to ask himself if he truly loved Ayana in the first place. Chiaki smiles and thanks the MC as he tells him that he feels so much better now. He looks ashamed as he apologizes for not trusting him fully. Chiaki tells him that he sees now that it was disrespectful towards the MC's feelings for Yukishiro too. Chiaki continues and says, "The kind of love where you can say for sure that you'd feel nothing after being touched by another woman. That kind of love sure's amazing. To be loved that much by someone must feel amazing." He turns to Yukishiro and asks, "Right, Yukishiro? Yukishiro blushes and nods her head as she agrees. Chiaki looks at the MC, smiles. He thanks them both for worrying about him, and for coming all this way to see him too. He really owes them a lot. With a cheerful attitude, he tells them that if they are ever in a tight spot, he'll be there if they just say the word. The MC replies and says, "Sure, you know I'll always be there if you're ever in trouble. So from now on, Chiaki, you should rely on us too." Chiaki jumps with joy and says, "You got it, I promise." Now we see them talking happily. Yukishiro tells him that she's got notes from today and asks him if he wants to see them. The MC tells him that he's got printouts for him. Hearing this makes Chiaki happy and thank them. As Chiaki is looking at the printouts, the MC looks at him and thinks that what happens now between him and Ayana, to be honest, it's anyone's guess. But he feels like Chiaki is going to be just fine. As this is happening in Chiaki's house, in the park, at 6 p.m., we see Hanabi all dressed up as she waits there anxiously. And this is how this chapter ends. Hope you all enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you.